Okay, so now we got the parking light wire soldered in there, and we can, since we do have power, ground, and all that hooked up so far, we can test the parking lights. So let's take a look. And it's hard to see. You can see them flashing. My gauge lights are red, so it's difficult to see during the day. But you can see my tail lights flash. So yeah, the parking lights are working properly. They were a positive trigger. Just make sure to refer to your manual, because there is usually a jumper setting on the unit itself for positive or negative parking lights. I believe with direct electronics units, most of the time they're set for positive out of the box, but it could vary. You shouldn't always rely on that, so you always want to check the manual and to be sure what exactly it's set to based on your car. Okay, so now you can see I taped together my horn and my parking light wires together, taped them all up to about where the wire actually hooks up here. Then I zip tied them along with the wiring harness for the ignition switch, and then from there all I have left pretty much on the home stretch here, we just have our lock wires and our door trigger wires as well as our siren left. And all those wires have to come over to this kick panel area. So what I'm going to do is, seeing as how all these go, I'm going to have to go together. I'm just going to tape these all nice and neat together, and then your LED light is going to be going with them too, as well as your programming switch. So that'll run along with them as well. But I'm not going to tape those just because I've had those go bad or get punctured and stuff like that. So I'm going to zip tie them together there, but I'm not going to tape them up, so they'll be easily replaced if necessary. Okay, so now you can see I tied up what I could there, trying to make it look neat and everything. I'm not really going for a stealth look, otherwise you'd see no wire at all, you just see tape. But that's not really what I'm going for with this. I'm just basically just doing it for the convenience of keyless entry, but the alarm wasn't much more, so I went ahead and bought that. And I actually taped all the wires together, loomed them. Now they're down here in my kick panel. So now I'm just going to go ahead from here and mount my siren, do the locks, and then also do the find a location for my programming switch. Okay, now I apologize, this part's probably kind of hard to see, but now we're doing your lock wires, and they're going to be in the kick panel. You'll see two plugs there, the blue one and the white one. Your wires are going to be in the white plug, and they're going to be your orange, black, and orange, blue. Orange, blue will be your unlock. Orange, black will be your lock. And then you're going to obviously want to test these. These are going to be negative triggers, so you're going to put your positive lead of your multimeter to a good 12-volt source, and then you put your black lead onto the wires that you're testing. And then right now I'm actually testing the unlock, so I'm gonna I have both doors locked right now, and I'm gonna pull the door lock switch here to the unlock position, and you should see a quick pulse of 12 volt or of negative, which on my meter is going to be reading 12 volts. So watch here. It'll be pretty quick. My meter's a cheap one that I'm using for this install, so it may not actually catch it right away. Yeah, so you can see the quick spike there, and I locked them again, and then yeah, see, it's kind of quick. If you've got a nicer meter, you'll actually see it actually read 12 volts, but that is our unlock wire. Then we're going to do the same with our lock wire as well. Okay, so now I've got those wires tapped. I rewrapped the harness there with tape, and I soldered my wires in. So now I'm going to go ahead and I tested both wires, and they right as they should, so I hooked them up accordingly. And then now I'm going to actually go ahead and try it out. So let's see, right now the doors should be unlocked, so I'll just lock, unlock. Let's make sure the other side's working. Lock, unlock. Okay, so keyless entry is working. So now all we have left is to do the door triggers as well as the siren under the hood. Okay, so I routed my wiring up there, got it all coming out here, and now I'm going to be doing my door trigger wire, which is going to be this green wire here. Not to get confused with the green lock wire. Same thing with this one is the other instant trigger, which is going to be for like a trunk or your hood pin if you wanted to add that. Just make sure you don't get these two confused with the lock and unlock wires. They're exact same color, exact same shade. Just the lock wire is a little bit thinner. The lock wires are the ones that are on their own little 3-pin harness with the one missing in the middle, depending on how your thing is. And then these ones are the ones coming off of your 12-pin connector. And for this, I actually found my door trigger wire right here. If you pull out the sill plate here, you'll see right here where the bend is. I saw my red-white wire there, so then I tested it out, and it read as it should. I'll go ahead and do that again. Okay, so I got the wire probed. Right now, door's open, so it's reading 12 volts, as you can hopefully see, or negative, because it's a negative trigger. So I got my red lead on a constant and my black lead on it because it's a negative. And I'm going to close the door or just pressing the switch up here. It should drop down to nothing. Yep, so it dropped down to nothing. Then I let it go and it's open. So that's going to be our door trigger. So we're going to solder our green wire to that. Obviously I'm going to have to extend it a bit, but it's going to go down here. And you can just solder it in right there, and then it'll be good for the door trigger. Okay, so now that I got door trigger, all that stuff taken care of, I went ahead and mounted my Siren. I just mounted it right over there where I believe there were some AC lines originally running, right down there. And make sure you always, when you're mounting these, mount them pointing down. That's actually only a temporary thing for me because I'm actually going to be using a smaller piezo Siren that's not so big and bulky. But from there, you'll want to route your wiring, with the factory wiring right here. You can split loom it or just, as you can see, the factory stuff isn't even split loom, so you could, it'd still look factory even if you just taped up the wire and zip tied it along with there. I'll probably be using split loom. And then to run it into the cab, you see the little, I believe that's the hood release cable. You can just slice a little slit with a blade in there and run your wire right through there. And one thing I do want to point out, make sure that you're doing your ground inside the car. I've seen some shops that will ground it right to the bolt that the Siren's mounted to. That's not really a good idea because you'll get a lot of corrosion and stuff underneath there. It's always a good idea to ground it in the cabin, preferably with your same ground that you grounded your, the main unit to. Okay, so now I'm finished up. I've actually went ahead and soldered my red Siren wire to your brown wire off of the main unit, and then I just grounded the black one, same spot here as I grounded the main unit itself, and it's good to go. Here's lock, unlock, and I set the alarm off earlier, and now we can go ahead and actually test the alarm. I'm gonna close my door here, lock it, give it a little bit to arm, and then I'm going to reach in, open up the door. It was going off, but I just disarmed it because I don't want my neighbors getting all fired up at me. Also, the shock sensor is on board, and it's just a little dial there, so you'll want to adjust that as to the sensitivity that you like for your car. Good way to test it, just shake the car a little bit or hit the B pillar. Don't hit the windshield because I've seen some installers crack them doing that. But yeah, as you can see, it's finished up. I mounted my LED up in the corner there. It's not even really mounted in there, it's just kind of set in there. I don't, just because I may or may not even end up leaving it visible. I may end up hiding it up under the dash. And then my programming switch, I zip tied here to this little connector here, because when you have the kick panel on, you'll see it right there when you pop off the fuse panel, so that way it's easily accessible and I didn't have to mount any holes for it. But yeah, it's finished up, it's zip tied up, can't even really tell that it's in there unless you're looking for it, but yeah, you're good to go. Any questions or comments, just leave me in the comments if you have questions or need clarification on anything, just go ahead and shoot me a comment. Bye. Okay, now that I've got the panels back on, I'm just going to show you what I meant with the programming switch. So you see it right there. Once you have the fuse panel cover off, so that when you need to do any programming there, if you want to do like silent arming, things like that, or double pulse unlock, that kind of thing, or auto locking, like when you're driving away, you want your doors to auto lock. You'll be using that switch in conjunction with the Siren as well. So yeah, that's where I chose to put it, but you can put it, anywhere you'd like. But just showing where it ended up on mine.